The oppressors are united while the oppressed are divided. Yeah, guys, we are in very serious times, and this is a time when all the youths, whether in your large capacity or your small capacity, have to speak out. The country is in shambles, the economy is dead, the government has decided to be totally irresponsible, and the hope of the people is looking like a mirage. Every 4 years, opportunities are placed before us to choose a leader. To an extent, a large number of the masses believes their vote doesn't count, which is not far from reality. However, if we continue like that and we continue to say our vote will not count, nothing will happen. So this period, in my 100 days challenge, we'll be using this period to talk about politics. In the next few days, we'll be touching politics. So today, what I'll be discussing on is the oppressors are united while the oppressed are divided. This is one major problem with the country, right? Where the oppressors are united and the oppressed are divided. Who are the oppressed? You and I. Who are the oppressors? Those men in power who has perpetually remained in power and has decided to recycle the leadership from one man to a second fiddle, to a third fiddle, fourth fiddle, and all that. So we'll keep having a recycling of vultures, a recycling of demons, Mephistophelian spirits who call themselves leaders, right? And when the people comes out to say, okay, this is who we want, it becomes a show of power. Now, the people are always very weak and gives up easily. But presently, we have some youths who have the voice, and youths who have decided to even come out to say, okay, at least let us fight for something. 2023, we tried to an extent, nothing worked. I'm an Obi fan, yeah. And I voted for Obi, campaigned for him in my little capacity, worked at the polling unit for Obi. Unfortunately, victory was not on his side because of the powers that be. Now 2027 is coming again, and if all youth decides to be quiet, at least we still get our own small influence for our own small capacity, right? And if we decide not to use it, for those of us who have decided to be altruistic, right? So the problem now is that the oppressors are united, the masses are divided, the oppressed are divided. The oppressors are united, the oppressed are divided. That's the problem. Now let's take a look at this video.
Next year election, I don't really know who I want vote for president. I dey vote Peter Obi. My only reason is this: Atiku don rule before with Obasanjo as vice president, so we don't already see what he get to offer. He not get anything new to offer for what he already offer before. Tinubu don already rule. Now we see the government. The only person who never still rule na be Obi. At least make we see give am try. Now just my only reason why I won't vote for am be that. And out of the three people candidate when I mentioned just now, I feel like it's okay. Out of the three of them, they will not be the best people, but out of the three of them, is more qualified in my own opinion. That's according to my opinion. No.
Now you see what we mean, right? You see what we mean. Now, Gege is one voice that is well known, respected in his own, in his own capacity and in his own community, and he has the fan base, right? Now, Gege has vouched, in his own opinion, to vote for Peter Obi. Okay. Now, let's listen to this one.
Come 2027, I will not be voting for Peter Obi. I will not be voting for Tinubu. I will not be voting for Atiku. I will not be voting for Kwangwaso. I will be voting for Sowore. Peter Obi, Atiku, Kwangwaso, all of them, they be the same people. So if you are there wondering why Peter Obi is busy moving like someone that doesn't have an election to contest in 2027, now because Peter Obi no really get election to contest in 2027, he already knows the game plan. It is so sad to realize how blind Nigerian youth dey towards Sowore. I still find it very funny as Sowore keep losing all his elections and we get millions of youth for this country. If we really want serious change in this country, we need to start taking serious people seriously. Just so you know, I don't know Sowore. I've never met him before. I'm not affiliated to him in any way, shape, or size or form. But I just feel like there's something about him that we as youth, we need to gravitate towards.
You've heard that. Now, he in his own capacity, with his own followers, he has that voice too, to a little extent, at least. He has his followers. He's vowing to vote for Sowore for his own personal reasons, right? Let's listen to this one.
Then they buy balls. You dey go price groundnut. You are not ready. Yeah. But anyways, people like us that are realists, we know 1,000,000 times. If you go up, come down. There's no way any of you shaking Jagaban in 2027 from what I'm seeing. You can't, unless if you are a dreamer. Peter Obi, you can't be the president like this, honestly. Just go and sleep. Like I said, watch what it's supposed to give City Girls movement aura for aura. Aura for aura. Those ones they strategize, they go price groundnuts. You will learn, and you will learn again the hard way. Don't play.
Now, this is VDM, right? A man, I'm proud of him, he's my brother, Edo State. This is a man with the voice. When you say voice, he has the voice, he has the influence, he has the power, right? Somebody who can record millions, hundreds of millions of views in one video. Somebody like that, when his voice comes out, it pierces hearts. There are people who are loyal to him, right? Now, that is his own position. The position of not, nobody should be influenced, everybody should be allowed to vote whoever they like, which is not a bad thing, right? Which is good. Now, this is where the problem is. This is where the problem is. The oppressed are having different mindsets because we know too much. The oppressors who understands the game are teaming up together, collating and collating. They have meetings. There are meetings that are slated for morning, like 3 a.m., as if witches are about to gather. They come together, they discuss. See, if you do like this, we will fail. If you do like this, we will fail. These are recyclers. They are PDP, they are APC. Imagine my former governor in Edo State, Obaseki, started from one party 4 years and ended the other 4 years in another party. These men are just the same. They are the same people. They just bear party names. They know this politics is a game. They know it. So they are not far from each other somehow, right? But even at that, we have hopes. There are people that still came out that we saw some virtues in them. Somebody like Obi is one. We saw some virtues in Obi. Somebody like Showore is another person that we saw some virtues in, right? When it comes to fighting for the people. And these men are relatively a bit young. Showore is more of a youth. Obi is a bit advanced, right? And if you hear their campaigns, what they want, what they will do, their fearlessness, you'll discover that. But however, politics is a game. Now, this is where the problem is. The problem is that these men, these demons are united. They have this power to unite, keeping their personal whatsoever aside to come together and fight for a common goal so that they wouldn't lose out totally. But the oppressed, the people suffering from the government are divided. And if we continue like this now, the way it is going, 2027, you will see people in different... Now, Peter for Nigeria is out there fighting at the National Assembly for a real-time transmission of electoral results.
What do we want? Our vote must! Our vote must! Our vote must! So as we blow this whistle, we say electoral malpractice, your time is up. Our vote must! The version where we want, now the one we carry mandatory real-time electronic transmission of
for National Assembly to pass that bill unbiased and unhitched is there at the National Assembly, sleeping and waking up and fighting and talking. Somebody like Aisha Yesufu is with Peter for Nigeria. There, right? But now we have some other people who have the voice, We're not talking about those who don't talk about politics. We're talking about those who talk about politics, but now have divided attention. So if we must prevail in 2027, if we must have a headway, there must be hope. The oppressed must come together to be united. If the oppressed is divided, there's going to be a problem. And people at the comment section, followers follow blindly. Followers follow by by connection and affection and affiliation. This the person will listen to. Whether he's talking nonsense or he's making sense, they don't care. As long as this person has talked, that's how it will be. So the followers of BDM now, all the Rattels, with their good work in the country, yeah, they will follow BDM. The followers of Peter for Nigeria will follow Peter for Nigeria. The followers of Gege will follow Gege. The followers of this will follow this. And if we now have that, okay, let's assume now 2027 comes. We have youths voting for Showore and youths voting for Peter Obi. If these two persons are contesting, right? If we have youth voting for Showore and youth voting for Peter Obi, that means we have divided attention now, clamoring for this. And some youth will still vote for Tinubu because some, no hope. There's nothing you say. Some youth are even worse than some of the old men. So some youth will vote for Tinubu. Some, if Atiku will still come out, some will still vote for him. But let's now talk about the ones that are okay upstairs, right? That are thinking of a better Nigeria. We cannot divide the votes. If we divide the votes, some are fighting for Showore and others are fighting for Obi. It will not work. If we must have a headway, let's assume by the grace of God, this fight that Peter is fighting works and it is passed, that there should be real-time transmission of results. As they vote, they see them, they count them before we are done. We've seen a result already. Conclusion is there already. If something like that works, it means the vote of the youth should go to the same angle. We should not vote Showore and Obi. We should pick one. The youth should go towards one direction. And if I'm to advise now, advise that the youth should follow direction that Peter for Nigeria is following right now, at least to an extent. Well, we'll still be talking about these different topics. Tomorrow we'll still talk about this. 100 days with the camera. This is ATM. Peace out.